Om 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 Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om. As we get ready this evening to celebrate Bhogi tomorrow early in the morning, I thought it would be a good topic to talk about Shaucha or cleanliness in our life. Whether it is the Bhagavad Gita or in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra or in many other places, Shaucha is a very important concept that is spoken of. It is inbuilt in our tradition. Whenever we do any puja, the first mantra that we chant is with water in our hands. Water is a symbol of purity. Water helps to purify within and without. When we chant mantras into the water, with the sound of the mantras, the water helps to purify. So we chant this mantra, Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavasthan Gatopi Va Yasmarit Pundarikaksham Sabahya Shuchihi Apavitra Pavitrova. Whatever is impure and whatever is pure, Sarva Avasthangatoppiva, in whatever state of being we may be, whether we may be awake or whether we may be asleep or whether we may be in a dream state or whether we may be in a meditative state. Sarva Avasthangatoppiva. Yes, Maret Pundarikaksham. When one remembers that Narayana, that Bhagavan, that Ishvara, Sabahya Abhi Antaraschuchihi. So one's surroundings and one's mind also gets purified. This whole celebration of Bhogi is an agrarian celebration. According to the Japanese tradition, it is said that cleanliness is preparation for life. So when we want life to thrive, when we want life to grow, then everything has to be clean. The system has to be pure and organized neatly, neat and tidy, clean, cleanliness. So when we are sowing seeds, preparing for a new harvest, we remove all the other unwanted growths, unwanted remaining leftovers from the previous harvest, and the whole field is prepared. So only when there is preparation through cleanliness is there possibility for a new growth, new harvest. In the same way, even pregnant mothers who are going to deliver their baby, they have a syndrome called the nesting syndrome. That is when the woman gets the indication that she's getting ready for delivery. What is this nesting syndrome? She goes around the house, tidying the house, cleaning the house, preparing all the rooms so that when the baby is going to be born, to bring the child back home and to nourish and nurture the baby. So the atmosphere is one of cleanliness. So cleanliness is next to godliness, said Mahatma Gandhi, and we know that. This whole process of celebrating a Kumbhabhishekam is nothing but celebrating cleanliness, celebrating tidiness. In the process of 12 years, or if it is the first Ashtabandhana Mahakumbhabhishekam for a newly constructed temple, then there are so many things that go around in the temple construction. There is so much of possibility for impurities of the mind and the body. The people who have done work on that, so much of hard work might have gone in, but their minds might have been frustrated through the process at some times. So when this whole process of Ashtabandhana Mahakumbhabhishekam is done, the Yajnashala is prepared, the Yagashala is prepared, and every aspect of the puja and the homa and sanctifying the holy waters, and then taking the holy water up on top of the temple and pouring the holy water, and then receiving the holy water that is poured. Everything is all about cleansing our surroundings, cleaning our environment, cleaning our temples, cleaning our minds, and cleaning our homes. So, cleanliness has been given great importance in our Shastras, and nothing begins without purification. So, in this talk today, it has been a specially requested talk to talk about cleanliness and tidying on the eve of Bhogi. So, I would like to take up three places from the Bhagavad Gita which talks about cleanliness. And Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji has given very beautiful commentary on that, which suggests the importance of cleanliness. In chapter 6 of Dhyana Yoga, Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells, Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamaatmanah natyuchritam nati neecham chailajina kushottaram. Shuchau deshe. How much ever we may say spirituality is an inner process, there is this insistence on keeping the place tidy. Shuchau deshe, in a clean place. This is important. Gurudev says, Shucha means cleanliness, Shuchi. Even women who have got a very natural intention in their smile, a very simple intention in their smile, are called in our Mahabharata and Ramayana and other Puranas, when describing them, they are called as Shuchismita. Shuchismita means one who has got a pure smile, one whose smile is not corrupted by vile intentions. So when the place becomes pure, why is the purity of the place very important? Gurudev says this is important in as much as the external conditions have a direct bearing upon the human mind. In a clean place, there is more chance for the seeker to maintain a cleaner mental condition. Apart from this, commentators explain that the place should be rid of mosquitoes, house flies, bugs, ants, and other creatures that may disturb the beginner's mental concentration when he is trying to turn inward. So, cleanliness, what is actually cleanliness? In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Maharishi talks of Ashtanga Yoga, in which he talks of niyama. Yama is, there are 5 yamas, and the next there are 5 niyamas. Yamas means our relationship with the world, how it should be. Niyama is our own relationship with ourselves. So the first niyama is Shaucha. Shaucha is the first niyama which he gives. And what is Shaucha? Cleanliness or tidiness of our surroundings, inner purity and outer purity. And what is the benefit of practicing Shaucha? He says, Shaucha pratishtayam swang jugupsa paraihi asamsargaha. The whole process of rebirth or reincarnation happens with our thoughts. And our thoughts become impure when our thoughts come in contact with other thoughts. We must have known a lot about this aspect of cordoning ourselves from society in the 2 years that we went through COVID. In fact, the whole lesson has been in Shaucha. Though we may not have really learned the lessons well, we may just have been very happy to come out of that solitary confinement, the social confinement. I even forget the word that we commonly use then. What is it called? Social, physical, staying far away from each other or not coming into contact with each other. So, When we are in the state of shaucha, when we create a tidy, clean atmosphere around us and within us in the body, shaucha pratishtayam, swam jugupsa, we will get, we will not be very happy to touch even different parts of our body. So they say, don't bring your hand to your nose, don't bring your fingers to your eyes, and all that. So we should have swam jugupsa, means withdrawing from contact with other parts of our own body. And then paraihi asamsargaha, contact with other people in terms of touching, holding, or getting very close. This is how the germs are transmitted from one person to another. So, this is one thing that Shaucha brings about. The other thing that Shaucha or cleanliness, he doesn't stop with this. He says, Saumanasya, meaning when I am in a neat and tidy atmosphere, and when my mind is also pure, I enjoy cheerfulness of mind, cheerfulness at all times. So if we want to be cheerful, happy, peaceful, then shaucha is a very important aspect in our life that um, we should follow. So in this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, where Shuchau Deshe Pratishtapya, while even preparing for meditation, it is important that we keep our surroundings neat and clean. Because when the surrounding is neat and tidy, the mind is not distracted with unwanted attachments. As soon as the surroundings become very neat, the mind becomes one pointed, it gets ready to withdraw from the surrounding and go within. The problem of the mind is we carry the mind with us. The mind, through our five sense organs of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, goes out into the world and connects itself to those objects because of so many reasons, because of its likes and because of its dislikes. So one way of keeping the mind is free from likes and dislikes, that is inner purity. Outer purity is see to it that only what is relevant, what is useful, what is beautiful can be appreciated, or only we are surrounded by only that, so that in those cases when there is beauty, the mind doesn't get attached, it just enjoys. When there is cleanliness, the mind doesn't get attached, it is just free, it is detached, and it is ready to do what we need to do at the present moment. But when there is dirt, when there is dust, when there is untidiness, when there is uncleanliness, the mind becomes attached because it is a signal for the brain. Our surroundings are constantly giving signals to the brain. It tells the brain, now this needs to be done, this needs to be attended to. And so the brain is one mass of confusion when there is uncleanliness and untidiness around us. In the same way, talking about tidiness is another verse from chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a very important verse because Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells, I like these kind of people. So what are the kind of people that Bhagavan likes? In many of our temples we go, we see a lot of uncleanliness and untidiness, mainly because people are just going, people are not going as sevaks to temples. People are not going to temples to ask, what can I do for this temple? In what way can I help you to maintain it? No, they are just going to ask for what they can get out of the temples. So the moment we shift our attitude when we go to temples of what I can do, then our temples will really be very beautiful places. And so we may ask, India is a very spiritual country. We don't think about when somebody points to us about why are our surroundings very untidy, we don't talk about what is our responsibility in getting it clean. We say India is a very spiritual country and Spirituality is all about inner purity and not outer cleanliness or tidiness. And so we just look the other side and keep going, or we fight with those people and we don't give a proper answer because we don't have a proper answer for it in our lives. The proper answer is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Who are all the people Bhagavan loves? And so, in that, in one verse, he says, Anapekshas Shuchir Dakshaha Udasino Gatavyataha Sarvarambha Parityagi Yo Madbhaktas Same Priyaha. That devotee. It is not that devotee who goes to temple and prays to Bhagavan, say, Bhagavan, give me a car, give me a bike, give me 10% marks in this examination, or give me this job with so much of money. It is not about those people that Bhagavan talks about and says, I love those people. No. Bhagavan says, Anapeksha. We are not going to look into the other aspects of what he says. It is there in chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita in Tamil. In this series of videos, the last video, in fact, on the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 12, the month of December. So you can look into that video. Shuchihi. I love people who are neat, clean, and tidy. So there are many accounts of the other world that are written by many famous authors like Dr. Brian Weiss or Dr. Michael Newton, where in the journey of the self or life between lives and destiny of the soul. So there are many, many accounts of past life regression or regression stories which people have spoken about in very deep hypnosis, where they describe the other world. The other world is most often, there is never a time where you find dirt in the other world, you find uncleanliness in the other world. In fact, the descriptions of the other world is so beautiful, so clean, so spick and span, so neat and so tidy and so pure that if people read those descriptions, they will even lose their interest in living in this world. So that is why these kind of books are actually kept hidden by our family members. They don't allow us to read about past lives and life after death and all that. So, Shuchihi, Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, who has many a time insisted on cleanliness and tidiness. So, where there was a story when, it is a real incident, when he went to a temple for, after the Kumbhabhishekam was over, so everybody was preparing for Gurudev's visit, when they really worked very hard to keep the temple neat and clean, at least for Gurudev to see. And then he saw the pujari bringing the plate, and the plate needed a good wash, a good scrubbing. So he asked the secretary there, do you have some tamarind? If you can get some tamarind, give it to this person, let him clean the plate. So that was the importance that Gurudev gave for cleanliness. Gurudev here says, who is pure? Bhagavan likes somebody who is pure or shuchi. Dirt has no place anywhere within or without a true devotee. One who is aspiring to reach perfection will necessarily be so well disciplined physically that he will be clean not only in his relationship with others, but in the very condition and arrangement of his belongings around him. It is very well known that the condition of a man's table or shelf and the cleanliness of his apparel can give a great insight into the mental nature, discipline, and culture of that man. Great emphasis has been laid in India on this physical purity, not only in the person of the man, but also of his contacts with the world. Without external purity, internal purification will be but a vague dream, an idle hope, and then and a despairing vision. So there is no excuse for, it is okay for my surroundings to be like this. It is okay for things to be dusty all around the place. It is okay to be dirty. It is okay for us to be messy. In fact, in those days, at least there was not much scope of so much of dirt. In these days, with all the plastics and all the artificial, whatever the artificial flowers, artificial leaves, plastic leaves, cloth decorations, and so many things that we don't need really are cluttering the place, that every spiritual place, every place where we need to celebrate purity, celebrate cleanliness, and celebrate tidiness are becoming very, very dirty because of the clutter of matter. So we really want to make our place, preparing our place for Pongal, for the coming of Uttarayanam, where there is a burst of divine energy. Makara Sankranti, when in the solar system there is a shift from the previous constellation to the next. So that's called Sankranti. Though every month, when the sun moves from one position in the constellation to the next, 12 times a move is happening. This Makara Sankranti is celebrated all over the country, and in many parts of the world also this is celebrated. So before this Makara Sankranti, there is this festival called Bhogi, which is also celebrated in several parts of our country as Lohri and other celebrations, where it is all about tidying. So when we see what all we can tidy in our lives, there are, and first let us know the difference between cleaning and tidying. Tidy means to question every object of whether we really need it or whether it can be done away with. So when we do that, when we question every object around our office, around our home, in our personal living space, we will see that we are surrounded with a lot of clutter that we really don't need in our lives, that don't help us in any way, that do not evoke any joyful memories in us. So, first, the process is tidy. Tidy all your belongings, tidy all your files, tidy all your books, tidy all your notebooks, tidy all your clothes, and tidy your garden, where the whole process is coming from yoga, abhyasa, and vairagya. In the Patanjali Maharishi says, how can you control the mind? Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tan nirodha. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, in abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. The mind is very restless, of course. The mind is very difficult to control. But two ways by which you can control it is abhyasa and vairagya. So abhyasa is looking at every object, whether it can be an object, it can be people in our lives, it can be circumstances in our life. Whether this is really helping me to achieve my goals in life, my higher goals in life, my higher purpose in life. If yes, okay, keep it with you. And when you keep something with you, treasure it as if it is your own child. You will not just allow your children to be lying down scattered somewhere with a nose dripping or a hair unkempt. You're going to take care of them, you're going to nourish them, you're going to nurture them. In the same way are all the objects around your house. Take care of them as if they were your children. So you are not going to have abundantly children around the place where you cannot take care. In the same way, have objects that you can nurture and nourish and that can give you some sense of purpose in life and really serve you in such a place, and treat every object with love and respect. Because you may think that objects don't have life, but objects are present in life. When life comes in contact with objects, life is born. That is how, even in dead walls, where walls are not alive, walls are not, they're inanimate. Even in those walls, over a period of time, you see life begins to form in the form of dust and dirt. Then you have a spider's web. Then you have a spider crawling. Then you have water, which seems to be lifeless, which seems to be inanimate. But in a few days, when you keep water open, germs begin to form and worms begin to form. And these worms grow and they become mosquitoes. So there is nothing that is lifeless around us. So in our surroundings, whatever objects we have, treat everything with love and care. That is why even in our culture, when we do the Ayuda Puja, the Saraswati Puja, every object is treated with worship, whether it's your scooter or your cycle or your car. You worship them because we treat that object with love and respect. And when we treat any object with love and respect, they in turn serve us to their fullest capacity. And this is a very important thing that we may not realize, but the more and more one person becomes very spiritual and they begin to treat objects with love and respect, whether it can be a door, or whether it can be a window, or whether it can be a mopping stick, or whether it can be a broomstick. Broomstick is called Shitala Devi's weapon is a broomstick. So a deity holds a broomstick in her hand. So every object has got consciousness, and so treat every object with love and respect. Have objects that really serve you and that you relate to, and you can discard the rest with love and gratitude for serving them, for serving you for so long, or at least reminding you that you don't need them really to be around the place. So that is for objects. And objects can be so many, the different types of objects that we have. They can be clothes, they can be books, they can be papers, they can be files, or they can be our wires, mobile phones, computers, laptops, broken radios. So broken objects like combs and other things which really, which are too much, that we can actually spare it for others, we can give it away to others, and have that much that we can really take care of and maintain throughout the year. So when we prepare our space for the new beginning, that is Uttarayanam, then we are able to go through life, we are able to really enjoy life. There is a very nice book by an author called Marie Kondo from Japan. The book is called The Magical Art of Tidying. It is her basic book, and after which some others have come. But the end of this book, she says something very beautiful. Once, what is the Phalashruti of tidying? According to Patanjali Maharishi, we saw that you become very calm, and you create a kind of a you withdraw yourself from your own body and from subsequently from other bodies, is what Patanjali Maharishi says. But here she says in the end, when you tidy your room and tidy your surroundings, the mind is not attached to anything. It just easily withdraws, and you're able to focus on what is the present, in the present moment, what is it that you want in your life. In the present moment, what is the work that you really need to do? Your life goals become evident to you when you tidy your surroundings, when you tidy your house, when you tidy your office, or when you tidy your living spaces. Your goal of life becomes very evident to you. And so that is one thing. So tidying your surroundings and tidying your relationships with people is very, very important. Bhogi is not about just burning away all your waste. Bhogi is all about burning away your negative emotions. Whatever we do in the world outside, we are also doing it to our mind within. What are the negative emotions that we have? So tidying the objects around us is one thing. It's very important. And tidying our relationships with people. We have to interact with people. We are surrounded by people. And We are surrounded by people, we interact with people, and the more and more our interactions become pure and calm and blissful, the more and more we move towards the goal of our life, the purpose of our life. The more and more the interactions are angry, hatred, with jealousy, and with a lot of competition and the attitude of survival, more and more we move away from the process of our move away from the goal of our life. So it is very important to tidy our relationships. How to tidy our relationships? It's a very, very simple process. One thing is blessing others, whomever we may have difficult relationships with, is to bless them by wishing them all success and wishing them all joy in their life. Whenever we think about them, let us not think about them with anger and hatred and bitterness, but let us think about them with love, harmony, and gratitude for whatever they may have given us. When we wish them all goodness in life, when we wish them all happiness in life, when we wish them all success in life, they are only going to respond to us with success, happiness, and goodness. Because why they are responding to us with anger, hatred, and jealousy? That is what they have in abundance, and they don't have anything else to give. So they give what they have. When you wish them everything, and your very wishing can change their mind, change their perceptions towards you, then what is going to happen is their lives also will change for the better. We cannot bring negativity into other people's lives, but we can always wish for something good for others. And when that happens, when their life changes for the better, they're going to interact with you and respond to you in a very good manner. So, forgiving people, forgiving is a very important method by which we are able to tidy our relationships. In some form or the other, there are many, many methods by which we can forgive to heal. And only when we forgive, we let go. When we let go, we clear our mind. Because to be very angry with some person is not actually going to hurt that person, it is going to hurt us the most. So, shedding our anger, shedding our hatred, shedding our jealousy, shedding our negative qualities through sadhana. Sadhana means practice, swadhyaya, study about my own self, seva, by contributing without identification of I am the doer and I want to enjoy these kind of results, and satsanga. These are the means by which we can purify the mind and purify our relationship with others, and then purify our response to situations. Situations are all happening in ignorance. Situations don't have any real reality of their own. Some thoughts we created in a thought in the past, some emotions we entertained in the past. Everything comes in the present moments as the situations that we face. So, not giving importance to situations, but correcting our reaction to situation. Whenever the situation is negative, just take a deep breath and pause. Instead of reacting normally with the same negativity, take a deep breath and pause and understand that situation has come for you to learn some lesson. Learn the lesson and let go of any hanker or hatred that comes from the situation. Then you are able to respond to that situation with love, joy, and harmony. That situation ceases to evoke negative responses in you over a period of time. So, healing our, uh, taking care of our surroundings by tidying our surroundings, the objects around us, tidying our relationships, the people around us, and tidying our response to situations, we will be in a very great way to celebrate Bhogi tomorrow. We will be able to clear and clean and tidy everything around us, tidy our mind, tidy our surroundings, so that we are able to enter into Sankranti, Makara Sankranti, with all love, all harmony, all gratitude, all good intentions, which are going to get good results in the future, and there is no doubt about it. As we had already spoken in the first video on January 1st this year, Sankalpat Siddhihi. When my intention is pure, then the results are going to be successful. The result depends on my intention. When there is pure intention, the result is going to be successful. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai.